I would like to bring this meeting to order. It's 5 o'clock. I'd like to welcome everyone here. I'm Jarrett Waite. I'm Mayor Pro Tem, filling in for Mayor Rosenberg, who is unavailable today, out of town. I do want to recognize the full council is here. We have Councilman Gubler, Councilman Drake, Councilwoman Mathis, and Councilman Shakespeare. We've asked Councilwoman Mathis to lead us in a Pledge of Allegiance and opening comments, and we'll turn it over to her.
Please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we'll move on to item number 3, communications and appearances. Oh, yes, sorry, I cut you off.
That's okay. Our dear Father in heaven, we are grateful for this day. We are grateful for the moisture that we have recently received and ask that thou might bless us with more. We are especially grateful this week for those saints who came and settled this area and for the trials that they endured. We're grateful for their courage, and we ask that we might be mindful of the things that they've accomplished and that our actions will further better this city that they have established. We're grateful for the many blessings that we receive from thy hand. We ask that thou will guide us and direct us to do the things that would be pleasing unto the citizens we represent and thee. And this we pray in the name of thy Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Thank you, Lena. Okay, we'll move on to item number 3, which is communications and appearances. Is anyone here in the audience to address the council for anything? Okay, if not, we'll move on to item number 4, conflicts and disclosures. Council, is there anything on this agenda that you need to disclose? Any conflicts? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to our working agenda number 5. We do not have any public hearings today. Item number 5B is our consent agenda. So we have our approval of claims and minutes, our council meeting minutes from September 8th, 2021, and our claims through September 22nd, 2021. We also have our calendar of events. October 6th is our upcoming city work meeting. October 13th is our regular city council meeting. October 27th is also a regular city council meeting. That's all we have on our consent agenda. Are there any questions on the consent agenda, council? And if not, I'd entertain a motion.
I move that we approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Ben and a second by Lena. Any question on that motion? So it is a money item, so we'll do a roll call. Ben?
Aye.
Lena?
Aye.
I'll say aye.
Aye.
Denny? And Wendell?
Aye.
Okay, that passes unanimously. Thank you, council. All right, item 5C, general business. Number 1 is consider approval of a project plan and a planned development commercial zone located approximately 3542 Rachel Drive in front of Harmon's store. The project plan consists of the site plan and building elevation drawings. Kristen Voros is the applicant and will be presented by Bob Nicholson and Jim McNulty, our city planners. Are you going to lead us off, Bob, or is Jim?
Jim's will not be joining us
Jim's
tonight.
not with us. Okay, so just Bob.
So this is a project plan for Pad A, which is located in front of the Harmon's grocery store. And this Pad A fronts along Rachel Drive. I don't know if all you can see that site plan. If that's, so its property is on PD commercial. It's been zoned that way for many years. And now they're coming forward with their project plan, which again is the site plan and their building elevation drawings. Pad A, the area is 33,152 square feet, so approximately 3/4 of an acre. The building that's proposed is 6,133 square feet. It's located along 2 entrances into the Harmon's parking lot, 2 entrances off Rachel Drive, and just north of, I think it's Pad E or something that's down here with Cafe Rio, whatever. So the Planning Commission held a public hearing on this item on September 7th. I was out of town. I missed that. I did read the minutes. Apparently there was no public that came to that meeting, so there's no public comments. I'll just give you a little rundown on this site plan. There are 12 parking spaces located up against the building. Now there are 22 just further to the east. See that strip? As well as the Harmon's parking area, which is parking in common for that project. The main item, I think, on this site plan is the landscaping, and the current city ordinance for the planned development commercial says the landscaping shall be landscaping, which may include a sidewalk. So sidewalk and landscaping shall be in the front 20 feet measured from the property line. And we've had this situation, I think probably most of the pads where there's been some encroachment into that 20-foot setback area. I think Tag and Go, I can't remember some of the others along Pioneer Parkway, similar issues. So in this case, I don't know if you can see that red line. There's about a 4-foot encroachment into these dual drive-through lanes. So if you measure from the property line back, this little red dashed line, I don't know if you can see, anyway, represents that 20-foot setback area. The code states that the council, upon recommendation of the planning commission, can allow that encroachment into that setback as long as they have landscaping elsewhere on the site. In this case, you can see they have these islands as well as this landscaped area here. So their landscape strip is about what is it, 14 feet, I think, measured in width, approximately 14 feet. They also have these planter boxes located out in the sidewalk area. So again, they have the dual drive up. They have 4 tenants, 2 of them like they announced at the planning commission meeting. Beans and Brew be one of them, and then Roxbury Juice. Both those businesses would utilize the drive up windows. So that's probably a quick overview on the site plan. I don't know if you have any questions. The building elevation apparently is very similar to the building just to the south that houses Cafe Rio and a few other tenants. I think Kristen Voros is the project architect. She was online by Zoom, and I'm not sure if she's available tonight if you have any questions, but I think maybe we can scroll through the building elevations, should be in the packet. Yeah, right there. Maybe if we can back up 1 or 2, right there. Wait, I think we only just passed it. Anyway, does the council have any questions on the site plan or the landscape issue, any of that?
Did the planning commission approve it?
Yes, planning commission did recommend approval of the plan as presented. Just a couple of items. This slopes away from Rachel Drive, it drops down. They plan to have a retaining wall right where the landscape strip ends, and it'll drop down for the drive-through lanes. So this will all be, this landscaping will be a sidewalk grade, roughly. Then after the landscape, there's a retaining wall, and then you'll have the drive-through lane. So, yes, the planning commission recommended approval of the site plan and the building elevations. It was unanimous.
And you said there was what was the name of the businesses going in?
Beans and Brew and Roxbury Juice. So I don't know. There is a Beans and Brew in the Dinosaur Crossing project over in St. George on Riverside Drive, part of that Smith's complex. I think most of their business is generated through drive-throughs, the drive-through.
Bob, I've got just a couple questions. The trash, it looks like it's a common trash on the pad just south of it. Is that correct?
I'm not sure. I don't know that.
I didn't see it on the site plan. I thought the transformer was it, but then I look at
Yeah.
a couple of the others, the utility plan, it looks like there's a trash enclosure on the adjacent pad just to the south, right there, about where you're right there, I think is.
That could be. Again, I'm not sure if Kristen Voros is on tonight via Zoom. But I don't have an answer to that, Ben.
It looks like that's where it is. I didn't see it on the pad until I scrolled into a few of these pages and it was there. And then on the planters, we had a question. And Jared, I think you'd brought it up that it gets pretty tight on those behind Cafe Rio there. I'm assuming these will match, as we've got around these corners, that's been assuring that. Did it just narrow? Is it the sidewalk at the planter to get around? Do we know if that same will continue or are we going to have a little wider sidewalk?
Well, I don't know, Brad or Dustin.
We just talked about them doing more similar to what we did with Bucks and down at the south, the Tag and Go, which would pushing them back. We discussed pushing them back to create the more walkable space.
And Bucks work because it's its own thing. I just know we've got two that are already there. Is it gonna look awkward if we move these ones that are literally going to be consistent with what's there? If all of a sudden they move out, or do we just widen the sidewalk around them?
I think the instructions we gave Kristen was to put them back behind the back side of the sidewalk in the landscape so they have a 6-foot walkway.
Okay.
When we talked about it before with city council, the council was concerned that that was more of a safety hazard, being on the edge of the road like that. So we wanted to make sure there's enough room for two people to kind of walk side by side. So part of the back side of that planter box will be in the landscape itself.
Okay.
Like the ones that Tag and Go and.
And I don't think you'll notice that they're even offset because you have the entrance to come in that's going to separate the two pads.
Yeah, and it looks like there's the sidewalks goes around. So it looks like there's a good break on it, but I just didn't know if they were in a line and all of a sudden the two behind Cafe Rio were out on the street and then the two, on this pad were set back.
And Mountain America are also up against the curb too, so it looks a little odd, but I think the break with the entrance will make it
okay.
look okay. And then there's also a little cutout where there's a riser there in the back of the curb. It kind of curves around, so I think it'll be fine.
Ben maybe would add to in the motion. If you look at the first page, I think the plans show the planters outright on the curb. And so maybe if in the motion, when you do to approve is approving them to be set back
Into the land.
into the landscape strip, allowing for the 6 feet, which would be similar to what we think we did at Bucks and down at Tag and Go as well.
Yeah.
So obviously this plan is the old, this was what was at the planning commission meeting. And they'll have to modify that then to push those back.
I had a question about the landscaping on it would be the west side or the east side, right?
Out here.
Yeah, is that there just so they meet the requirements of our ordinance? Because I don't think that's anywhere else in the parking lot. From what I remember, there aren't any landscape strips anywhere.
I don't know why they did it. It could very well be because I think, Kristen Boris has been involved in most of the others and this issue's come up where I think she should be aware that the ordinance says that you can council can authorize or approve an encroachment provided there's landscaping elsewhere. And that's maybe, I don't know what motivated in that. I'm glad they're doing it. And so, I think that could be considered the elsewhere to make up for this say 4-foot encroachment.
And with our new 6-month plan for our landscaping plan anyway, I think we could make adjustments for that.
That was my next question. Will that fall under our current ordinance where, because they applied before we made that change, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we review this under the current ordinance that's been in place for years.
Okay.
I don't know that anybody's seen the details yet on that new landscape plan.
No, but I was, what they've done up with the other pads and around there, I would, they would comply with the new landscape. I mean, they're very desert scape and plants, native plants. So, I mean, they haven't put any, there's no grass or anything up there. So I think we wouldn't have any problem with them meeting that. Although with their application and fees paid prior, they were vested already at their application through this prior to our temporary landscape ordinance.
This would probably, the ordinance is under development, where this is a pad development. This would almost be like a building lot within a development, I would imagine. So I wouldn't imagine it's effective on something like this. So, but you're right. I think regardless, this would meet whatever ordinance was, any changes were coming out to that.
And I guess my question is for council is, do we want that landscape strip out there in front of the building? Like, I'm sure it's fine. It kind of stuck out to me when I looked at the plans that that's going to be a one-time thing in that parking lot, which generally more landscaping looks nicer in a parking lot, but do we want it to look different than the rest? I guess is my question.
Well, they do have the 2 landscaping strips down the center, because you can walk straight down the center. There's even a sidewalk in the middle of them with the 2 landscaping strips that go all the way to the door.
And
That's
I
true.
think trees add shade to those cars parking in the parking lot too, to me.
Yeah.
A minimum, I mean, I'm not talking about putting grass down, but I
Yeah.
think you could have some shade in there too. That would be good.
And I actually think there are some, if I remember right, there's a couple of them, maybe 3 of them that go east and west as you drive in off of Rachel, because it's a driveway. And I
Right.
think this is the same thing. It's trying to separate a driveway. So I'm okay with it, actually.
Okay. All right, council, any other questions? I think that was my only question. We're certainly excited to have some new merchants come into town and help us with our sales tax revenue, and be nice to see that project just about done over there. So I did one other question. And this might be a question for Brock or for you, Bob. Is this going to be, I don't want to be in the same situation we were with the cafeteria building where some of the project wasn't done and then the merchants that came in had to pay some of the impact fees. Do we know if this will be built like totally done, ready for the merchants to move in? That's what they've done with the other buildings. I think we solved it with the other ones, but I just want to make sure this one isn't like the Cafe Rio building.
Yeah, so the way I believe we've adjusted for these is that the landlord, would be Harmon's, would pay for the infrastructure, those impact fees of water, sewer, power. They would pay those. Now, the new tenant, when they came in, because not knowing what the tenant is, the tenant done and parks, but mainly streets, you don't know that our street impact fee is based on the use. And so that one would be a fee that would be paid by the tenant when they come in to do their tenant finish on the pad. So, but all the others, the infrastructure should be done and paid when they pull their permit, which would be up to like Harmon's, saying if they're just going to put in on some of them that don't have, so the 2 in the middle that don't have a tenant now, if they say they put a 200 amp service on and say when they come in, it's something bigger, they need more, then that would, Harmon's would have to work that out with that tenant or whatever to get that up on their, upgrade that service at the time of permit. So
Okay.
we're leaving it to the landlord to handle that situation.
Okay. All right. Very good. Anything else, council? And then I would entertain a motion.
I would move that we approve the landscaping, the site plan as presented with the caveat that the planters be set back into the landscaping strip and the plan as approved by the Planning Commission.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion by Denny and a second by Wendell. Any question on that motion? I had a question. Do we want to specify that those planters match what we've done on the other, like in front of Tag and Go or anything like that? Because we don't want it totally in the landscaping, do we?
No, it's just pushed back. It's not 100% in the landscaping. It's pushed back. We're on the ones around Cafe Rio, you had about 3 to 4 feet and we push them back to, I think, allow 6 feet. So it's a full like 6-foot sidewalk. So they're just in the 4 feet of it rather than 6 feet. So we just made that small adjustment. So
Okay.
we would do it. And I know we had that discussion, I believe, with Kristen when we did it and just talking about matching to what we had done to pad the other Swig and Mobetta and Tag and Go. So
Okay.
I'd accept a friendly amendment to that effect.
Perfect. Thank you. All right. And then Wendell, you okay with that amendment?
I am.
To just clarify those on the planners? Okay, excellent. So we have a motion by Denny and a second by Wendell to approve the project plan for the building at 3554 or 3542 Rachel Drive in front of the Harmon store. Any questions on that? Okay, we'll do a roll call again. Let's start with Wendell.
Aye.
Denny.
Aye.
Aye. Lena.
Aye.
And Ben.
I,
Okay, that passes unanimously.
We must be the thirstiest city in Washington County. Quench it, swig.
Yeah, for sure.
that's so.
Okay, very good. We'll move on to item number 6 on our working agenda, our council reports. And we're going to mix it up. We're going to start with Wendell this time. So the floor is yours.
No report.
You're yielding time to,
I'm yielding time for Ben.
All right, Jenny, do you have anything you'd like to report?
We went to the water district meeting today. Really, there was no real changes other than the fact that the reservoirs are much better off than they were a month ago. Just the slightest rain seems to affect us a great deal. And they are going to drain down Quail Lake to do some fixing on the underneath. But they're going to be maintaining Sand Hollow at a higher rate because of it. There's talk of the conservation ordinance that the county is going to produce for us, just to review and then make our adjustments. That should be coming fairly shortly. And then Swiss days. Everybody is working hard and staff and I think as you enjoy this weekend, come out to all the events. I think it'll be fun and everybody will see what volunteerism is all about in the Dixie spirit. So excited to have it.
Okay, thank you, Denny. For my report, we had a CEC meeting planned and it was canceled, so I don't have anything to report there. And I just want to report on Swiss Days. I've gotten some really good feedback from citizens that it's just going to be so fun. Like I've just gotten the impression they really missed it last year, so I'm really looking forward to it as well. And then just schedule wise, just make sure that as a council we're there for that breakfast at 7:30. Is that the right time? Show up at
7:30, maybe a
7.
little bit before that.
a little before set. Okay. So,
Some
7-ish.
bypass the 5K, just come to eat. So
okay. So about around 7. And then we have the parade after that. I think that's all we have to do as a council, right?
yeah, and if you want to attend for tomorrow night, you have the community dinner from 5 to 7 with the opening ceremonies. Following that, just after the dinner. So if you want to attend to participate in that, they will be doing for those who are Santa Clara Elementary alum, braiding the maypole. So come on out.
Very good.
Are we wearing the same t-shirt on Saturday? Everybody same t-shirt? This one?
Yeah.
I think that'd be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that.
I can't wait to see you braiding the maple.
So we've done the pie eating contest in previous years. Are we doing that again?
No.
Okay,
Good.
that's probably a good thing, but I was pretty excited.
Rock dominated.
Hey, it's because I wasn't getting smashed with pie from either side.
Dominated. I pulled pie out of my ears for like 3 months.
All right, that's all for my report. So move on to Lena.
There isn't much to report. LPC met. We're starting to have committee meetings for the land use task force. And there isn't much to report on it right now, but they are starting. And Heritage didn't meet, so I don't have any other reports.
Okay, thank you, Lena. And Ben?
Well, I'll fill in the last hour then. I mean, we don't want to get out too early, do we?
I only gave you 5 minutes.
There you go. The only thing we had is we had the Constitution Day program out here on the field. That was very well done. That was fun. Yeah, that'll be hopefully a great tradition moving forward.
Appreciated the fire engine putting out that fire there too, so.
So I don't looking forward to Swiss days. I would agree. I think everybody's really excited to get back to get to have this go again. So I think it's going to be great. So great job to staff. Planner, everything's looking good down there on Gates, and that's going to be awesome. So still a lot of trees there too. So I think we'll be all right.
They're gonna strike that early this morning, so should be all opened up and done.
Perfect. Oh, it'll be good. So I don't know how it's been pretty quiet the last few weeks. So be good.
Okay, thank you, Ben. Staff, is there anything you want to bring up to council before we finish up?
Just for on the Constitution Day that Ben talked about, a lot of thanks to Brad, Sherelle, Parks Department, putting that together, Glockenspiel. They did a fantastic job. Christelle putting the agenda together. League of Cities next week. I'm seeing you all in Salt Lake. And what was the other one I had on my head? I don't, Gary saw Gary saying there's a toolkit workshop with UAMPS on Tuesday, starting at noon. If you wanted to go up earlier on Tuesday and attend that UAMPS workshop, Gary.
I did email that to you guys, didn't I? Pretty sure I did. Okay. Just let me know if you wanted to go.
And then Monday, Wheeler Machinery Barbecue.
Ask about that.
That at noon. So
11:30.
11:30.
11:30 on Monday.
30. Jim McNulty starts with us on Monday. So excited about
Cool.
that. So. I think that's it.
Okay. Was there anyone else in the audience that had anything they wanted to present? Okay, very good. Do we need an executive session?
We do not.
Okay, and I just need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, motion by Lena, second by Ben. All in favor, say aye.
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 That passes. Thank you, everyone. And we'll see you at Swiss Day.
We should send the mayor fishing more often.